going on, guys? Jesse504 here, bringing you all NCP Week 6 Team Builder and Battle going up against in vivid color coach of the South Texas Sableyes. This was one of the toughest teams, I think, to build for, just because my grass resist, like my Rillaboom grassy glide resist, just ain't there. Rillaboom messes me up, and Vivid's whole team consists of Tapu Koko, Jirachi, Miltank, Kira, Moltres Galar, which is interesting, Hitmonlee, Rillaboom, Garbodor, Sandaconda, Clawitzer. What do I expect? Koko, I think for sure, Jirachi for sure, Kira for sure. I think regular Moltres comes. I think that's his really best fire resist, only real fire resist, because Clawitzer isn't a Pokemon. I think Rillaboom comes for sure, so that's 5. And then the last one I know has been gushing over Sandaconda. I think that'll be the 6th. What do I have to beat it? Not much, but we're just gonna go for this sort of stack here. We got Cinderace Boots this week. I think coming in, coming out a lot is gonna be clutch. We got Powerball, Low Kick, Taunt, U-Turn. Taunt is just to make sure that a lot of his fat can't be super annoying. Pyroball obviously goes pretty hard. Low Kick for the Kyurem is really what it is, because everything else just doesn't want to take Pyroballs, and I just don't want to waste Pyroball PP on the Kyurem, because I only get 8 of them, but I need to make all 8 count. U-Turn for Momentum. Taunt is to, hopefully, I can get some hazards up and then stop the Moltres from defogging. Up next, Nihilego. We got the Power or Meteor Beam set this week, along with Sludge Wave, Hex, and Thunder Wave. I considered being speed boosting this week, but I ultimately ended up going with special attack boosting Nihilego. This is a great check to Moltres Galar, as well as Kyurem that isn't clicking Earth Power, Koko that isn't mixed or set up all the way where it can be abusing like stored power. It can stop like Garbodor from stacking T-Spikes, and offensively the matchup's great. Defensively it's kind of tough, and it can't really sweep until Rillaboom is gone, so he just has to play really conservative with the Rillaboom, which I like the Nihilego. Up next we have Shuckle. Shuckle's going to get up webs, going to get up rocks, hopefully it'll tackle something, and then hopefully knock it off, depending on how much time he gives my Shuckle to survive and set stuff up. Up next we have Delmise, Colberberry. We got Synthesis, Poltergeist, Anchor Shot, Power Whip. This lets us in theory, take like 50% from the first knock from Banded Rillaboom. I don't really know what exactly I was thinking when I did that, but it is what it is. We got Guzzlord again this week. Shout out Aquarius in my comment section on the last video for showing me how to EV Guzzlord. Unfortunately, I played this battle before I learned all that stuff. So we've got two Guzzlord. Hallelujah. Knockoff Heat Crash, High Horsepower Dragon Claw. Dual Stabs, Heat Crash for the Rillaboom, High Horsepower for the Koko. Heat Crash also lets me hit really just the Rillaboom because it's based 120 power, and I was like, yes, let me kill the Rillaboom. I can also Heat Crash Jirachi, but Knockoff is just better. High Horsepower for the Koko, not Earthquake because Rillaboom exists, and then Knockoff is very spammable into his team. His Dark Resists aren't, because I don't, like, Hitmonlee isn't great. Moltres Galar, I guess, but that doesn't really have that great of a Fizz Def that wants to come in, get knocked, and then get Dragon Clawed. And then lastly, we've got Dracozolt, Scarf Dracozolt. I really like this week. The end game with it locking a move is good. High Horsepower for the Koko, Bullpeak Dragon Claw, great into his team, because his fairy is Koko. High Horsepower is to scare the Jirachi, also like a Garbodor wants to come, or really the Koko, yeah, and then Facade, in case we get like Flame Body burned on Moltres. I don't want to be completely useless, so we got the Facade just in case. But this is the team, very quick team builder. But yeah, see you guys in the battle. Alrighty, and we are at the battle. I'm post-coming this one, thought it was the best course of action, as I do get incredibly tilted. This is one of the most scuffed battles I've ever participated in. So without further ado, let's just get you right in. It's a team preview where we see the Coco, Jirachi, Moltres, Kyurem, Sandaconda, and Rillaboom. No regular Moltres means like no sturdy fire resist at all. There really just isn't one. And then Clawitzer also doesn't come, which is huge. I didn't really deal with it too well. So I was like, Shuckle, free Shuckle lead, 3 hazards. Let me just fast forward this. Like, I expected a potential lead like Rillaboom because it exerts so much pressure, or like lead Jirachi because U-turn is nice, like on a Scarf or something. And I know he's been loving Scarf Jirachi, which he does in fact lead. And so I was like, yeah, I'll just get my webs up. If you look at, I have a 40% chance to do it each time. So like, he has like a 36% chance to deny my webs this way. So I was like, they're so impactful this game, might as well go for it. Like, that's in my favor. That's like pretty much hitting a focus blast. Or like hitting 2 hydro pumps in a row, something along those lines. But unfortunately, we just don't get it, which is awful. I was like, yeah, I named it Don't, so don't flinch him, but no, I flinched him. We get free Cinderace though now, and Pyro Ball is literally free. Like, it's gonna do like way too much to everything to let it come in safely. Like, nothing really wants to take it. And like, worst comes to worst, Sandaconda comes in, we just U-turn on out afterwards. And in fact, the Sandaconda does come in, and we miss the Pyro Ball. Tilt started. I'm getting furious at this point. Like, I missed 2. I get flinched twice. Miss a Pyro Ball. That's like not awful, but the chances of that happening is like, at this point, it's like a 3% chance of this awful opening. I get into my Dhelmise as he glares me. It's not the worst. Glare's annoying. Paralysis is very annoying, but it's not the worst. Dhelmise is slow. This is the thing I would be most happy to sack to Para now that Shuckle is gone, and there's no way I would ever go Draco on the ground type. So I go Nihi here, because Moltres exploits Dhelmise. Like, it can set up on it for free. I really want to prevent that wherever possible. Get on out into my Nihi, which we do, and I try and Thunder Wave, expecting Jirachi to come in. Makes Jirachi a lot more manageable in the future, which is really, really nice. There's no reason for him to stay in ever here, so getting a Thunder Wave off on the Jirachi means that stuff gets much easier down the line. And in comes the Jirachi. Thunder Wave comes out, and then I can get out afterwards. I check to see if I'm speed boosting, because that is really nice for me for like revenging stuff like Coco, or revenging something, and then the Coco or a potential Scarfer that isn't Jirachi. Like, if he went dual Scarfers, can't come in and revenge me. So I get into my Dracozolt, and he misses, which is a little bit of help back, and I go for the high horsepower, and I miss, and he gets full parried. So like, this battle's Omega Scuff, dude. Like, I was like, why is the game doing this to us? It's not fun anymore. But like, I figured Coco was the resist, but Sandaconda's also fine. Like, it's not gonna enjoy this hit. It'll take it, but it's not gonna enjoy it. Which is really nice chip on the Sandaconda, because getting that thing out of the way is very nice. For just the rest of my team, makes Cinderace even more powerful than it already is. Like, have it even more powerful in like a position than it would be regardless. Dhelmise comes in as he high horsepowers, and that's gonna do a whole lot of nothing. So half afraid of a Fire Fang coming out, half expecting him to stay in, expecting me to make that same double again. I go for an Anchor Shot. Figured it was like the safest play, because like, if he stays in, I will be able to trap him and kill him afterwards, and if he goes Moltres, I'll take like a clean, a little bit under 50%, so we don't even pop it into Berserk, which makes stuff so much easier to deal with down the line. He glares again too, expecting me to make the play. But we get full parried, and like that, if we didn't get full parried, no matter what happens, unless we somehow missed 16 power whips or something like that, Sandaconda was dead. But now it's not dead. We take our clean 50% off on the Moltres. Look at that. That's huge. And now we can get into the Nihi again. Nihi puts on so much offensive pressure this game. So getting on into that seems really, really helpful at this point in the game, as he goes for the Fiery Wrath, which reveals to be non-boosting damage, only doing 60 HP. And I was like, if you stay in here, you're a moron. I got so nervous. I was like, I could Meteor Beam. Meteor Beam was probably, in hindsight, the safest play. It should net me a kill every time. But I was like, you know what? The Nihi endgame is so strong if Rillaboom ever goes down that I didn't want to pop it just yet, because look at that HAX. That was beautiful damage. It's like 80%. And now I can click it again. I don't think there's any reason to save a Paralyzed Jirachi at 20%, but to each their own. However, he does not save it, which is good, and down goes the Jirachi. We get our special attack boost, which forces in the Rillaboom in my eyes. But like, look at the Rillaboom. It does so much damage, just like Choice Band Rillaboom, that the fact that he goes Kyurem, I'm like, okay, you have to be Scarfed. If you weren't Scarfed, no reason to risk your Kyurem when you have Rillaboom that literally OHKOs me from full with Grassy Glide. So I was like, yeah, you're going to be Scarf. You're clicking Earth Power. I'm going to go Delmize, because you're Scarf and you're clicking Earth Power. There's no reason for you to do anything else. If you made a Draco play, you could have just lost your Kyurem. He makes the Earth Power play, though, clearly like either expecting me to not expect him to have dual Scarfers or something like that. I go for the Anchor Shot, figuring it'd be good chip on Kyurem or trapping whatever comes in next. Probably the Moltres again, but still, best mid-ground play overall. It just seems really safe. He goes back out into that Moltres, and now it's going to be very low. At this point, I was like hoping for a crit, makes stuff a lot easier to deal with. We don't get it, we just get a higher roll, and he gets his Berserk off. So the fact that he gets Berserk makes me need to go into my Guzzlord, because Guzzlord will sponge all hits. He should not go for Hurricane yet. I thought Fiery Wrath was just very free, so he just goes for the Fiery Wrath, and we eat it up. And then we have a very free knockoff. I contemplated high horsepower, and I was like, what if on the fuck shit I go for the high horsepower? Like, I wish you guys could see the live com, like, hear that? And I was like, what if I just go for the high horsepower, dude? If I just hit that high horsepower, and the Coco comes in, and he switches, and the Coco comes in, and I was like, oh my god, dude, I would have been so good. That would have been crazy. And then I click knockoff and see the weakness policy, and I was like, never mind, I'm a god. I'm very happy that I did that, because now I was like, yeah, you're gonna set up like a Calm Mind here, as I was like, there's no way you're just gonna raw Gleam me. I wanted to think he would have Gleam at this point. I was thinking Calm Mind, Roost, Thunderbolt, Stored Power, just to get past Nihi. And I high horsepower, and I was like, yeah, you're roosting here 100%. Number one, you can't touch Nihi. You're not going to Stored Power the Dark type. You're either going to roost or you're going to Gleam. So Nihi comes in free on either of those, as he roosts. Perfectly fine for me. That's great. Now I Sludge Wave and I force a kill. Like, nothing he can do gets him out of that. Other than like Sandaconda, but even Sandaconda's like getting low. He's Stored Powered. That's weak as shit. That's weak as shit. We get rid of the Coco. Huge. Part 2. It's not like crazy. It's not like Coco went absolutely like insane versus us, but now he gets that Kyurem play again, or he can go Rillaboom, which I think he should do. Like the amount of offensive pressure it puts on is insane. Use Grassy Glide. The fact that he didn't at this point made me fear a setup set. I figured that would be such a good revenge on Nihi, and the fact that you didn't do it so many times is like, yeah, you're gonna revenge me, or you're gonna set up a Swords Dance and win that way. I'll like SD Drain Punch to like heal back all the way on Guzzlord, knock off Grassy Glide. So I click Meteor Beam here. I was like, if you're not Scarf, if you were bluffing last time, fine, but there's no way you would bluff and then switch out of the Delmize. But I was like, yeah, Nihi doesn't beat anything because it's slower than this Kyurem. The Moltres is already low enough to the point where we don't need it for it. The Sandaconda doesn't beat, and then the Rillaboom just glides it, so we don't need the Nihi. So then the Delmize comes out again as he's locked into Earth Power, and I click Anchor Shot because I figured the damage was nice. You're obviously Scarf, I saw at this point for sure. And the Sandaconda comes in, and I was like, yes, let's trap this, and no, never mind. Which is great. So I was like, yeah, you just harded into that. You're clearly trying to sack it off. You clearly don't want it anymore. I'm going to click Power Whip. And he does want it. Now comes the Moltres. And we thankfully hit it. And threat is dealt with. Delma just beat Moltres. Moltres Galar. So, that's good at least. We're up on Mons, and the Kyurem comes out, and I was like, shit, I don't have an Ice Beam resist. Cinderace doesn't count. But I'm gonna go hard, Cinderace, right? I thought I needed everything, at least a little bit. But Cinderace was probably the safest play. You could drop a Draco. I didn't really need Cinderace. Cinderace was just nice at this point. It wasn't necessary. So Cinderace, out it comes. And the Ice Beam comes out. He switches though at this point into the Sandaconda, which is fine by me, because I just get the U-turn off. Because I was like, yeah, you're not giving up the Kyurem yet. Look at it, and the Delmice can come back in. Maybe this time you're trying to give me the Sandaconda. I'm gonna click Anchor Shot regardless. No reason to Power Whip ever when the Sandaconda's in, because like I just trap it and it can't really touch me. So I click the Anchor Shot, try to trap it, and he switches this time into the Rillaboom, which is fine by me. Grassy Surge comes out, which gives me a nice little bit of residual recovery. So I just click the Anchor Shot, which is nice because now I believe like it's either Poltergeist range or range roll for Poltergeist to kill. So I was like, yeah, I'll just click Poltergeist now. You click Knockoff, I'll eat my Culver Berry, live, and you click U-turn instead, and reveal the choice band. So now I'm like, damn, those Kyurem plays didn't make sense earlier, but it's fine. It's not like we lost anything from them. In fact, it was good for us. So out comes the Sandaconda. And I click the Poltergeist and we hit it. Thanks. So I was like, you know what? Sandaconda's not able to touch me. Let me get back some health on the Sandaconda. You know what, guys? In reality, should have just clicked the Anchor Shot and then recovered the health back. No reason, because then I could get it full safely. But I clicked Synth. Doesn't really matter too much what I click here necessarily. Just I clicked Synth as he gets his rocks up. That's fine. It's completely fine. I don't know why he set rocks on the potential spinner. It's like, what do I have as AV? Like, I could have easily been AV spin fourth move. So I don't necessarily agree with the play, but it's fine. It's not hurting me immediately. Poltergeist comes out. Or actually, I was like, you know what? You just had rocks. You're trying to give it to me. Power. Again, hindsight should always just Anchor Shot. No reason to not Anchor Shot. Other than to speed things up. But I click Power Whip as the Kyurem comes out, and Grassy Terrain boosted Power Whip still does around 40%. And then at this point, Delmice has to go down. I don't switch into the Kyurem. Cinderace doesn't take 2, and if he just clicks Ice Beam, I would lose if I went hard Cinderace. So that goes down, Grassy Terrain goes away, and I'll go out into my Cinderace, reveal the Heavy Duty Boots, but still just get out into the Cinderace, which is very, very nice for me, because now I just click Low Kick. He should, realistically, he just Ice Beams me, puts me in Grassy Glide range, and ends the game with Rillaboom. But he clicks Ice Beam as I click Low Kick, ready to get rid of this thing. And it goes down. Step 1. Step 2. We just gotta get rid of the Sandaconda, and then the Rillaboom. I am afraid of Rillaboom being set up, but then I was like, no, it's Choice Band. You don't have to be worried. And then I get my Pyro Ball off. Because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go down regardless to Grassy Glide. But then I can Revenge or go into my Dracozolt and just hope that he doesn't have like horsepower in the back. But I go, but I can just like go for Dragon Claws. Sandaconda doesn't really want to take those. So he Power Ball, and he doesn't click Glide. And I was like, damn, are you trying to throw, bro? I think I literally said, are you trying to throw? because I was so surprised at him just not clicking glide. I was like, okay. So, at this point, Sandaconda comes out. What I should do here, click taunt. I always live the hits with my Dracozolt or with my Guzzlord. I just click taunt, and then nothing can go wrong if he's rest. I assume no rest, because you revealed Glare, Stealth Rocks, High Horsepower. You should not be rest last slot. You should have coverage for like a Delmice or a Mantine. But he didn't respect either of them. And I click U-turn, thinking I'd be faster. I didn't want to miss. And I knew it was range. But he was faster. If I had clicked taunt, this endgame became infinitely easier. But I thought Pyro Ball would have killed him. Imagine if that first Pyro Ball hit, we would have been in such a good spot. Like, yeah, U-turn literally did exactly enough to the point where if he did not rest, we would have been fine. But now I just get into the Guzzler thinking knock to get rid of the residual lefties recovery would have been nice, especially after grass terrain goes away so soon. And he'll stay asleep for a little bit, right? Doesn't get the insta-shed skin, so I just get the knockoff. He stays asleep for the first turn, of course. And it takes a big chunk from the knockoff. So the residual's going away slowly. And he shed skins now. Nah, I just start spamming Dragon Claws. Gravity Terrain's almost over at this point. So I just go for the Dragon Claw. Notice that I'm up by like a minute on timer. So I can sort of start playing for that in the end. But I don't think it would ever come to timer, as Dragon Claw does a big chunk. And now we've got to hope for good luck with the rest turns, with the para turns, so that the Dragon Claw 3-shot can happen. So he goes for the high horsepower and hits, which is fine. I Dragon Claw, hope for a crit. Don't get it. I Dragon Claw again. At this point, I just keep clicking Dragon Claw. There's no reason not to. He clicks the rest again. So I can click Dragon Claw. But we get full para. Now I just keep clicking Dragon Claw, trying to force him to rest sooner or go down in range of Sandaconda. Or not in range of Sandaconda, in range of Dracozolt. But we get full para again. So we're going to have to wait a little bit longer if we want to be able to kill. He does get the long rest as well, too. But I just click Dragon Claw, and he shutskins now. I believe he broke up regardless there. He high horsepower misses. I'm like, okay, a little bit of karma. And I was like, he high horsepower again. That's completely free from him. And I was like, please crit. Please kill with the crit, end the game. We get full para. He high horsepower missed again, though. And he high horsepower connects. And I Dragon Claw. And I get the crit, and it didn't kill. So now I try the Dragon Claw again. Because he clicks rest. And we're going to be here for a while. So I was just like, let's leave him as low as possible. But we get full parad, and he shed skins right away. Which is the worst case scenario for us. Literally, one of those two things didn't happen, we won the game with Dracozolt no matter what. If we hit 2 Hustle Dragon Claws. Now we need a crit or a high horsepower. So now that's those 5% each. And we need to hit 2 Hustle hits. But we have exactly enough HP investment to not die to high horsepower after Rocks and EV4. It was just a coincidence, just how much HP I had. And we hit the first one, no crit. High horsepower brings me down to 12, which is like a lower roll, but we bleed no matter what. And now we click it again. And we hit. And we kill. We got the crit we needed. And we won. I don't really feel bad about that last crit, like all the hacks. It was like a very hacksy game. Like, the amount of times that Sandaconda should have just died to my Delmice was, yeah, I didn't feel bad for critting it in the end. But, with all that being said, it was a very tight game, very close. HAX was definitely not fun. But I hope I'll be able to get like a cleaner game versus Vivid or something in playoffs. I think that with that opportunity, I should perform a little bit better, a lot of it better. Hopefully the game goes a little bit better. But hope you guys did enjoy that. And with all being said, the screen goes black. Until next time, Jesse504 out.